In today's episode of the Creative Ramblings podcast, I am sharing my story of how I became a content creator in this crafting and DIY niche. Today's episode is going to kick off a series I'm starting this summer on craft content creators, how they got started, what they're doing, and some tips you can take away if you are a crafter and you're looking to get into this whole content creation thing. Hey, I'm Sarah. You're watching the Creative Ramblings podcast, where we have conversations with crafters and insights into some topics and techniques that are going to help you move forward in your creative journey. Today, I am sharing my story as a content creator, how I got started, how I went from a hobbyist to a full time creator, and kind of what that journey looked like along the way. And then we're going to talk about some really basic tips to getting started as a content creator. I'm hoping that if you are a crafter of any kind and you've ever thought about sharing your tutorials and teaching on the internet, this episode is going to be really helpful for you. This is the beginning of a series I am going to be launching this summer, talking with other craft content creators, what their story is, how they got started, and some really good tips that they can share with you. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I do have a new podcast up every Wednesday and new videos on all kinds of craft tech and tutorials throughout the week. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Before we jump into the topic, I do want to talk about deals and news in the craft world this week. If you want to skip this part, just hit that next chapter button and we'll dive into the topic. Let's get in to deals. A lot of deals and news going on, and I really want to tell you about these because great time to take advantage of some things, especially materials, that kind of stuff. The first thing is a summer activity kit. So this is a digital resource with like 85 plus printables, tutorials, mini courses, games, all kinds of different things aimed at kids. So if you are an adult and you are looking toward the summer and you have kids at home, whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a nanny, this kit might be for you. There is just a ton of resources for road trips, rainy days, afternoons at home. I've got the link down below. It's just $29 and it is yours permanently when you download it. There's no timeline to it. I have a couple of resources in there that I've shared that I think are really fun. So if that describes you, take a look at the link down in the description. It'll be available for another week or so. We've got some deals going on at Cricut as usual. There is always some things on sale there, but what's on sale varies from week to week. So right now we've got 40% off HTV, and we're in the middle of a 72-hour clearance event on paper and pens. So that could be a good time to stock up on materials. So think cardstock or any of the pens that fit into any of your Cricut machines. Discounts on most machines too, anywhere from $50 to $300, depending on the machine and the bundle. No codes required for any of this. Just shop that Cricut link down below. Moving on to Lockleek, they make a smart cutting machine that I really like. It's right around $200 and it's got a really easy to use software and you can cut and work with all kinds of material, paper, vinyl, HTV, that type of thing. Lockleek also yesterday, teased something new. They kind of shared on their Instagram page, like something new is coming. I don't know what it is. I'm not privy to that information yet. Kind of looks like a laser to me, but I'm not sure. So maybe next week I'll have some new information for you on what that is. But if you follow Lockleek on Instagram, you can make your guesses as to what that is as well. Moving on to HTV Runt, which is a sister company to Lockleek. They have a Mother's Day deal going on through May 22nd, and it's a deal on all of their materials and blanks. So just about everything is on sale. These are all kind of materials and blanks you can use with your heat press. So HTV, sublimation paper, tumblers, coasters, all kinds of different things you would use for cutting and then heat pressing. So again, if you're looking at stocking up on materials, take a look at HTV Runt. They make a really high quality HTV that I love. Cuts nicely, really easy to weed too. Another material manufacturer is called Creator Ally. They make some laser materials that I really like. So they make a colored plywood. nice and flat every time. Everything I've gotten from them is always flat, and it's painted on both sides. So you can just put it in your machine and cut it, and then you don't have to paint your pieces. Love that. They also make scratch acrylic and some other really cool laserable materials. So you can shop them. I have a discount code for them as well that you can use on any purchase. Koala is a manufacturer of sublimation paper and supplies. They also make like printable magnetic sheets, water slide decals, all kinds of different things you can print on or use with sublimation. They've got some sales going on right now. Plus, I have a discount code that you can use for anything you buy from them. That's down in the description. Moving on to machines, I featured a new machine last week on this channel. It is from Atom Stack, and it's what I'm calling your personal engraving machine. It is the cutest, compact little laser. It is the only laser that is currently in my craft room. Everything else is in my laser workshop because I need a lot of ventilation and a lot of space. This thing is like a little square, and it's super cute. Comes with 2 laser modules, so you can engrave just about anything. It is a really great companion for your smart cutting machines or your other crafts that you're doing because you can add personalization to just about any material. The machine comes in under $300, and I have a discount code for that as well. This machine fits really well if you are a crafter looking to take that step into a laser, but you don't want to go drop $2,000 on a laser, because really that's a huge step. So this might fit the bill for you. It's from Atom Stack. It's called the P1. That's linked down below as well. The other machine I've been talking about lately is a UV printer. And I have a whole video. I have many podcasts and videos on UV printing and printing in general, but UV printing allows you to print directly onto hard objects. You don't have to do sublimation. You don't have to do transfers. You just print directly. It's really, really cool. And I love this new UV printer. It's still in the Kickstarter phase. That's linked down below. And I have a couple of videos on this channel if you kind of want to get a better understanding of what UV printing is and how it can fit into kind of your crafting space, maybe your small business, maybe your hobby. A lot of good deals on that and a lot of cool things you can make. So take a look at the Eufy Make E1 UV printer on Kickstarter, link down below. That was a lot of deals, you guys. A lot of news, a lot of deals, so many cool things going on. Every Thursday, I send out a newsletter that will have a fun craft topic in it, but all of the deals for that week are linked in that newsletter with all the discount codes and a lot of specifics. So if you like to stay up to date on deals and news, there's a link down below. You can subscribe to that newsletter. Today, we are talking about my content creator story, how I got to where I am from being just a hobby crafter many, many years ago. And this episode is kicking off a series that I'm going to launch this summer, interviewing content creators in this crafting niche. We're going to hear their story, how they got to where they are, and then some tips for you as a crafter, or maybe you're in your early stages of being a content creator, how we can help you grow and be successful. So I want to start by kind of just sharing my story. In 2011, I had a little one at home. She was 1 year old, and I ended up leaving my job at a nonprofit to stay home with her. A lot of different factors went into that, but it was the right decision for our family at the time. I had always been a crafter, and suddenly I had this time to really create. So I started crafting a lot. It's what I did when she was playing. It's what I did when I had free time. And I made a lot of paper cards, sold them on Etsy, sold them at craft fairs, really enjoyed just making and selling. Somewhere in that mix, I started a blog because I thought, I really like doing this and I'm learning so many new techniques and new ways to create. What if I shared on my blog how I create these cards and what machines I'm using and what techniques I'm using? And that kind of launched this content creation for me. At the time, the blog was absolutely secondary to anything I was selling. And the stuff I was selling was super, super part-time. It was really just a hobby and I was making a few extra bucks here and there. The blog ended up being something that I really, really enjoyed doing. I found that I liked teaching And at that time, blogs were really interactive. We had these feeds, depending on your age and how long you've been around the internet. Blogs were really interactive. The comment section was very vibrant, and you had these feeds that would share with you, when a new blog post would come up on the sites that you liked. And I was loving the community that I was building around my content. So I knew that I was impacting people, and I loved it. So I kept my Etsy shop open for quite some time, but I definitely backed off on what I was doing because I liked teaching. From there, I moved into a YouTube channel, which didn't do much in the first couple of years, but it was there. I was creating video, again, teaching. And then as social media started to grow and evolve, I joined whatever platform was out there, again, so I could teach and reach a new audience and build community. A couple of years ago, more than that now, gosh, 5 or 6 years ago, I started to do a heavy focus on video. I liked creating video, and it was a natural transition to move to YouTube, and everything I was creating had a long form video with it. Uh, it was a great way to engage community again with those comments, and I felt like it was a little more interactive than the written word that I had been creating. Fast forward to now, and my content is almost exclusively on YouTube. That website is still around. I don't think I will ever get rid of it. It is like a history book of everything I have ever done. And it serves a purpose because there are people who really do want written word and photos for tutorials. But I'm almost exclusively on YouTube and then on most other social media platforms, again, to build community and reach people where they're at. So if you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, I'm able to share those tutorials with those communities. So today I am a full-time content creator. I still make cards quite often, especially if there's a birthday or a graduation or something like that. I love using my hands or my Cricut or my Lockleaf to make a card and give to them. But my full-time job is as a content creator, mostly right here on YouTube. So let me share some definitions and kind of a basic framework of what it means to be a content creator. There's two terms, I think, for people like me who do what I do. There's a content creator and there's an influencer. A content creator is somebody who creates content, creates any kind of digital content, video, written word, something out there. The goal is to tell a story and engage a community. The goal is not necessarily to make money or sell a product, it's to engage a community. An influencer describes someone who uses their personal brand to leverages it to sell a product to an audience. So influencers you typically see on social media, you are going to see them on YouTube, but typically on social media using who they are as a person and trying to get you to buy a product or service. These two terms absolutely overlap. Content creators have influence, and influencers create content. Have never thought of myself as an influencer. I think of influencers as those very, very famous people who use their own personal brand to sell something. I create content, and if you choose to buy something from me, fantastic. But those are the two terms that are often used to describe people who create videos and content on the internet. One of the biggest questions that I think is out there is how do you monetize this content that you're creating? And to be honest, this question almost always comes from people I know in real life, because out here in the world of the internet, I think people have a good understanding of how you can monetize things. But if I'm talking to a friend or a neighbor, it's like, well, is this really your full-time job? Can you really make money off that? And the answer is absolutely yes. So let me walk you through some of the ways that you can monetize your content. First of all, you can absolutely create content without monetization. It is not something you need to monetize. You can create content as a form of art and community engagement and to build a following. There is no necessity to make money. However, your time is worth something. And if you're putting a lot of time and energy into creating a video, there are ways to monetize it that are really not a burden to your audience at all. So the first one I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. This is often what we see with influencers. I go onto Instagram and I create a reel, and that reel is all about this really cool crafting machine. And I want you to buy this machine. And so you're going to click on my link, you're going to buy it, and I'm going to get a small percentage of the sale. That's my affiliate commission. Affiliates are available for almost every company out there. It is amazing how many companies will offer you a small percentage of sales if you talk about them. You can leverage this on almost any platform. You could leverage it on a website, on Pinterest, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, wherever you are, you can use affiliate marketing. Um, there are some FTC guidelines. So if I'm telling you to buy this crafting machine that I love, I need to tell you that I'm an affiliate for that. So there's a lot of detail on how to do that and where to do that, but just being upfront with your audience so that you can build trust. There are a couple tips for affiliate marketing. We're not diving too deep into this, but 2 tips. Number 1, if you are promoting a product through affiliate marketing, make sure it's a product that you use and believe in. So as I'm sitting here in my craft room and I'm looking around at all the machines I have, I love the machines that I have. And if I tell you about them, it's because I really think they might benefit you. This Lockley cutting machine, I've just used it recently and it's sitting right here. So I'm talking about that. I have a whole playlist on this machine. I really like the software. I think it's a well-built, well-backed machine. So I'm going to tell you about it because I really, really like it. And that should come across in my content. So whatever you're promoting through affiliate marketing, it should really come across that you genuinely believe in this product or service. You can partner individually with brands and they will give you an affiliate link, or you can go to platforms. Platforms are a great place to start. So Impact and Awin are 2 great platforms that you can go to. You can create an account and you can apply to be an affiliate with different brands. Again, find ones that fit your niche, that fit your personality. They handle all the payment and everything. They're really, really easy to use. So affiliate marketing is a great place to start. It's a great way to monetize some of your content. The second way to monetize is through brand partnerships. So we're going to keep using this Lockleek machine that I have sitting here. If I knew that this machine was phenomenal and I really wanted to promote it, I could reach out to Lockleek and say, hey, I think I would be a great brand ambassador for you to promote this machine. And you can enter into an agreement in which not only are you getting affiliate money for it, but they are going to pay you to create content for them. So you as the creator can reach out to a brand. You could pitch them on why you would be a great fit. Sometimes brands will reach out to you, especially if you have a decent size engaged audience and you have a lot of content out there. So the more content you create, you may pique the interest of a brand and they may reach out and say, hey, we want to work with you. Then once you have that kind of relationship, so they have paid you, you're creating content, you have that one lump sum payment and you're getting affiliate money down the road. In relationships like this, you are a brand ambassador. A good brand will ask you to be honest and give your honest opinion on all of these. But oftentimes you may feel a little bit of pressure to be really positive and really enthusiastic about the brand because they are paying you. Whereas if you were to purchase the product yourself, you could be a little bit more raw when you're talking about it. So there are some caveats to keep in mind when working with brands. Again, there are FTC guidelines. I must tell you that a company has paid me to talk about their product. That's really important. Lockleek has not paid me to be the example in this podcast today. It just happens to be top of mind, again, because I really like the product. The other thing you have to keep in mind is some brands that pay you to talk about their product may want some exclusivity. So if I'm talking about Lockleek, they may say, hey, you can't talk about Cricut if you have this machine. And there may be some terms to that. There could be a many, many series podcast on brand partnerships, but that is just kind of a high level what to think about when working with brands. The third way that you can monetize content is through ads. This can be a very easy way to do it. So if you have a website, you can run ads on your website. And we've all seen it. I think it's very rare to go to any website on the internet and not have ads pop up. Oftentimes, if you have enough views on your website, you can contract through a company like Mediavine, who will manage your ads for you. They look clean, they look nice, and they handle all the payments, and they handle kind of those agreements with Google or whoever else is running the ads, and then you get paid. You can also monetize video. So here on YouTube, that is really easy to do. Once you hit certain thresholds, you have a certain amount of watch hours, certain amount of subscribers, you're going to enter into the YouTube Partner Program. In the Partner Program, you can run ads on your videos. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can run them at the beginning, the end, mid-roll, all kinds of different things. You can run ads on shorts. You can monetize all kinds of things. And as a viewer of YouTube videos, we're pretty used to these ads. They pop up, you can watch them for 5 seconds and you can skip. But as the creator, that's money coming in. And the more people that are watching your videos, the more you make on those ads. And then talking about social media a little bit, social media has a lot of different ways to monetize, and it varies by platform. So the Meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram, they've altered the way that they pay, but you can create videos, and if you have a big enough following and a big enough watch time, you can monetize the videos you post to those platforms. In the past, they've run bonuses just for posting a certain amount of videos. On TikTok, it's very similar. Once you have enough subscribers and enough watch time, you can monetize your videos as well. One other thing that we're seeing on one very specific app on TikTok, we have TikTok Shop, which has just exploded since it launched here. That is when you are watching a video, you've got that little icon on the bottom with the little orange dot, and you click on it because that influencer on TikTok said, hey, you need to buy this product. I click on it, I go buy the product. The creator on TikTok then earns a small commission. So the ways to monetize are affiliate ads, brand partnerships, and they look a little different depending on whether you're on a website, on YouTube, or on social media. But those are really the big buckets of how to monetize what we're doing as a content creator. The one caveat I'm going to add there, and I'm not going to go too deep, I think this is probably a whole other video by itself, is freelance or user-generated content. So as a creator, I have been making videos for a very, very long time. Oftentimes, a brand will reach out to me and say, can you create content for us? They will pay me to create that content, but I don't own that content. I'm creating it for them. It's not going to appear on any of my channels. My name's not associated with it. I am making content on a product for a brand. They're going to go use it. That can be a very lucrative job. It doesn't grow your community. It doesn't grow your following. It's a job, but it can pay very well. And the companies are going to pay for high quality content creation. So if you've built up your skills and that company sees that you can make really great videos, freelance or user generated content might be a great direction to go in. So let's talk a little bit about platforms. I think we touched on quite a few platforms already, but let's dive in a little bit deeper. So I mentioned that when I first started, I was on a website alone. Websites have changed so much over the years. I think before social media and even before YouTube, websites were how people communicated. If I wanted to share my thoughts on a product or a service or a craft technique, I was going to put it on a website. I was going to write it up and you were going to come and read it. Those still exist. Absolutely. That makes up the bulk of the internet. So you can share your content on a website. You purchase a domain name, you pay for hosting, and you get your stuff out there. The other option, I think, you're here right now. So let's talk about YouTube. I think YouTube is a phenomenal place to start and grow as a content creator. YouTube is going to offer you the ability to create long form videos, short form videos, to do a podcast like this, to do lives. You could have memberships on YouTube where people pay you a monthly fee to be part of an exclusive group of people. And you can do community posts, which kind of harkens back to like old Facebook where you would just write a little update and then it goes out to your subscribers. YouTube is a great place to start as a content creator because there's really nothing you have to do to get started. Unlike a website, there is no fee to get started. You just create an account and you start uploading videos. It is truly open and accessible to anyone. From there, you can grow. As you grow with watch time and subscribers, you can get into the monetization side of things and start opening up these other options. Then we have platforms like social media. So TikTok and Meta, X, there's probably other ones out there that I'm not thinking of. You can actually do some things on forums like Discord and Reddit, but I think the core that we're looking at is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And so you can create on any of those. You could create one video and share it on all of the platforms, or you can kind of niche down and just share on one platform. Social media, again, there's no hesitation to starting. You may already have a personal TikTok account, but it is super easy to create a creator or business account and, kind of separate it from your personal content and then create whatever you're creating. Maybe you're going to show people how to do sublimation on TikTok. We talked a little bit about forums, or I mentioned forums, something like Discord or Reddit. You can have a space where people are following you and directly interacting with you on those forums. You can also have newsletters. It's entirely possible to be a content creator solely through a newsletter. It takes some work to build your newsletter list, but there are some amazing ones out there where people just send out a newsletter once a day, once a week, and it is really, really well written and engaging. There are a ton of platforms available for you to create content on. So what we did is we kind of talked high level here about what it means to be a content creator. I shared my story, and I think my story is very similar to other people. You start out as a hobbyist because you really like crafting, and maybe on purpose, maybe by accident, you turn into a content creator. So if this describes you, if you are a crafter and you are thinking about sharing content, or maybe you already are and you kind of want to take it to the next level, I really want you to stick around for this series this summer. We're going to be starting in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be talking with all kinds of content creators who are going to share their story and then tips for you. A couple tips that or takeaways that I want to share with you before we close here is that being a content creator is really, really fun. And hopefully those of us who do it make it look easy. But it is work. It's a full-time job. It is the coolest, most fun job I have ever had. But it's definitely a lot of effort to get there. But hopefully, because you get to craft and share, you'll find it very rewarding. As you move into your content creator journey, I'd highly recommend treating it like a business from the beginning, because it is. Your time and your effort are absolutely worth something. And if you treat it like a business, I think you're going to get more out of it. And my final tip is to explore some of those platforms that we talked about and maybe start with one. Start here on YouTube and create a channel, or create a creator or business account on TikTok and start posting videos, but start on one platform and see how it goes. And if you are successful, you can grow it to other platforms. On the other side, if you are not successful, it doesn't mean that this is not for you. It might mean that TikTok wasn't for you, but maybe Facebook is, or maybe YouTube is, or maybe a website is. So there's a lot of different ways for you to go. If you are not already subscribed to Creative Ramblings, I highly encourage you to do that. This podcast airs live every Wednesday, and I do have other videos posted throughout the week sharing craft tech reviews and tutorials to help you move forward in your creative journey. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for listening, and I will see you next week.